What's up, my dudes? MX Simulator third person sucks. Spencer, how could you say that? You know I don't have the skill to ride in first person on a simulator that's meant to be played in first person. Don't talk to me like that. Okay. I'm gonna come in here and make this video. And I just want to explain this right off the bat before you go nuts in the comments, because I feel like a lot of you guys you're getting confused on what I'm saying whenever I have this sort of disagreement with third person on MX Simulator. So let me make it loud and clear to you guys, because a lot of you don't understand, okay? I'm not saying that there just shouldn't be a third person in this game, or like, oh my god, you should never ever be able to play in third person and it just shouldn't even be in the game. That is not what I'm saying at all, okay? I think there should be a third person in this game. If you want to go in there and mess around in third person and look at the whips that you're throwing and just having fun and doing that offline, that's cool. Like, I have no problem. You can have any camera mode for that matter for that, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how you see the bike and stuff like that. But where the problem occurs is when you get into the pro racing and you've got certain people running third person, probably more than half the riders running in third person, then you got some of the other dudes running in first person, and it just creates such a more unrealistic pro racing experience, in my opinion. And some of you guys are going to say, well, Spencer, you could use third person too. I mean, you could pro race in third person too. I don't want to, because it's a fucking simulator and it's meant to be played in first person. That's the whole point of the game, okay? Like I'm saying, I don't want you guys to forget, I'm not saying just don't have third person at all. What I'm getting at is, if you're going to go all the way deep into this game, go as far as to want to pro race in the game, I mean, just think about this, guys. Like, what's the point of pro racing in this game? It's to get as real of an online racing experience. Why else would you be pro racing on a motocross simulator? Okay? It's to get the most realistic, just like real life racing experience. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't really think that you can ride in third person in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong there, boys, but I don't really think that's possible. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the whole point of the game. It's like, if you don't want to pro race in first person, then go play the official Monster Energy Supercross game. Like, I don't even understand why the hell you're playing this game, hardcore pro racing, if you're not going to play it in first person. That doesn't make any sense. And one of the biggest arguments, the first argument a lot of people want to have to that is like, well, Spencer, people playing in third person, that's not affecting you. Why are you getting mad over something that's not affecting you, Spencer? You're playing in first person, they're playing in third person, let them do what they want to do, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of comments like that. It's like, okay, let me correct you there, because you're wrong. It does affect me in the pro racing whenever I'm racing alongside dudes that can see 360 everywhere around them, completely unrealistic. They see everything on the start straight. They see before people run into them in a corner. I mean, it is a massive advantage being able to pro race in third person in this game. And that's what I'm getting at is, I don't understand why RF has not done like a forced first person mode, okay? This is where it becomes a problem to me. This is where I have a problem with third person. I don't care if you want to go on there and even just do a little local fun race with your buddies in third person. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Play in third person all you want to, but when it comes to the top pro racing series and events in the game, I feel like that should be locked in first person. That should be first person only. I mean, just think about how much more real the racing experience would be is if it was like real life and all you could really see was directly in front of you and you didn't have this like full spotter scope view of everything, you know what I mean? If you guys really sit down and think about that, you will understand how stupid that is, that third person is even allowed in pro racing. I mean, I just don't see it in 1,000 years. And I feel like a lot of you guys try to defend third person because that's all you play in, because you simply couldn't play it in first person. It was too hard for you. And I know that's why a lot of you guys play in third person. And trust me, I got a lot of friends, I got a lot of buddies, got a lot of fans, obviously. There is a lot of people that play MX Simulator in third person. I feel like a big reason for that is they play a game like Reflex, or they come from one of those arcade motocross games, which is predominantly played in third person on those games, which I completely understand if those games are played in third person because they're arcade motocross games. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's just say there was a pro racing series on Reflex or a pro racing series on the Fisher Monceu Supercross game. I would expect that to be in third person. You understand what I'm saying? I would expect that to damn near be forced third person, because just to make it even across the board. But that's how an arcade motocross game is meant to be played, in third person. But when you talk about a simulator, I mean, that is the whole point to the game, people. Like, why the fuck is that not so easily understood? I don't get it. I don't get it. I think the reason why a lot of people, like I'm saying, play in third person is because they go in there on the first person. They've never done that before, and it seems really difficult. It seems hard to hold on to the bike, or hard to look at things that are going on. Everything's moving too fast to them. They can't see the bike around them, and they're not used to it. And so then they're like, well, I'm just going to go play in third person, and then they never go back to first person, and they learn the game in third person. So then first person seems impossible to them. And with third person basically being just a way that you can pro race, and you get like a total advantage by seeing everything around you, then people just play the game in third person. It's insane. It has created this terrible, basically all that third person is in this game is a luxury that's turned into a crutch. That's all that it is, dog. That's the only way to explain it. I mean, to some of you people that are like, continue to try to defend pro racing in third person, I'm not saying, listen, the argument here is not that, oh my God, you can't play MX Simulator in third person, or oh my God, there just shouldn't be a third person. So all you idiots that are going to try to defend it in that way, that's not even what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? My only issue is when the third person is in the pro racing right alongside everybody else that's trying to get the full, realism simulator experience out of the simulator by pro racing in first person. The third person just right in there along with it. There is no forced third or first person. It's just both together. And to me, that just makes no sense. It makes a totally bizarre racing experience when you've got people that can see everywhere and then certain people that aren't seeing everywhere. It's just, and I'm not saying there's not negatives and, positives to both third and first person, because there is. Obviously, first person, you can see more of the ruts, see more in front of you and all that, but the third person is massive when it comes to on the start and being able to see around you, and when people are running up on the inside of you and avoiding wrecks. I mean, it is massive, and what it's doing is it's creating this like system of people are looking at it more like, well, damn, I need to learn this game in third person because you can pro race in third person, but that doesn't even make any sense because it's a simulator. It's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't even be accepted in the pro racing of the game at all, period. And that would make it to where a lot more people would try to learn this game in first person the way it's meant to be learned. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at is, it's like created the fact that the third person is allowed in the pro racing at all has created this system of where people just think, well, I'm just going to learn the game in third person. It's all good, and I just hate that it's like that, man. It's like, dogs, you got to understand, when it's a simulator, that's the whole point of it. It's like, why would you spend years and years to master a game and pro race at a game and then not even play it in first person? You cannot defend that. There is no way in 1,000 years that you could try to defend that. You're going to try to, because I've seen it in the comments over and over and over again. Some of you guys that just can't get it in your head that you're playing a simulator. That's the whole point to it, dog. You can't defend third person in any way in the pro racing in this game. You can't. You cannot do it. There's no way. Now, like I'm saying, I'm not even trying to go against just going in there messing around throwing whips in third person or free riding in third person or fun riding in third person. That's all good, dog. I ain't got no problem with that. You're not affecting me in that sense, you know what I mean? But when you're going in there third person in the pro racing, you're now affecting the entire ecosystem of the game. You're affecting the entire outcome of the game, and it's really disappointing that it's that way. So that's my sort of, I wanted to clarify this in this video. That's my sort of hate towards third person. It's only third person in pro racing. That is the only sort of argument I have, right? So, and I hope I explained that properly there to you guys and why I have that sort of argument, but it's like, I really think it's a lot of you guys, you're so used to those other motocross games, you just naturally come into MX Simulator, you just automatically start playing it in third person, and you just, once you learn the game like that, it's really hard to go back to anything else. I mean, me going in here, my first thought was like, oh, hey, this is a simulator. This is trying to be like real-life motocross, but in a video game. Oh, hey, I should probably play this in first person. I mean, that's just like logically you would think that most people would do that, but some people don't do that because this game is really, really difficult, and they do anything they can to get that little upper hand. So I feel like a lot of people get in there on third person, or it's they can't find a good first-person camera setting or whatever, but with the amount of first-person camera settings on MX Simulator and the different ways you can make it look and the field of views and the angles and all that, there is no excuse to say that, like, oh, the first-person camera is not good enough, or, oh, it makes me nauseous, or this, that, and another. You can't even say that about MX Simulator because you can literally adjust the first-person camera as much as you could possibly imagine, any way that you want to in the game. It's got the most first-person adjustments of any motocross game out there. So there really is no excuse to that, but it creates this really bizarre, like I've noticed this in the pro racing where a lot of times I'll like run up the inside of somebody and I know there ain't no way in hell that they just like knew that I was there or heard my bike. It was 100% they saw me coming up the inside in third person. Like, there's no question about it. I've had that happen a multitude of times. And there's so many occasions I could have not wrecked had I been playing in third person. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to this. I know a lot of you guys are going to make that argument of, well, Spencer, you could play in third person too. Why don't you just play in third person? If it's allowed, just play in third person. What I'm trying to get at is you're going against the whole point of the game, especially when you start talking about going as deep as the pro racing. You're going against why you're even playing the game in the first place. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to play this game in first person, why the hell are you even playing a simulator? Like, why are you, if you're going to seriously play this game and sit down and try to get fast, and that's the whole point of it. Like, I don't understand. It's like, why don't you just go play Reflex or go play the Fisher Monsoon Supercross game if you want to play a motocross game in third person that's not quite as realistic. But if you're trying to get that full-blown realistic experience, that's what MX Simulator is all about, giving you that feeling like you're on a real-life dirt bike in real life. Why in the absolute hell would you play this game hardcore in third person? That makes no sense. Literally no sense. Either A, you just don't have the skills to play in first person, so all you can do is play in third person, or B, you're trying to get a massive advantage in the pro racing. That's literally the only explanation for that. There's no other explanation. Either you just haven't sat down and taken the time to learn the first person and you're too scared because you think it's too difficult and you're like, oh shit, I can't do that. I've never really played a motocross game in first person before, or you're just trying to get that massive super view, 360 view everywhere around you in the pro racing. Some of you guys need to man up. I mean, I'm being dead ass. I know, like I said, I got a lot of fans, got a lot of buddies. There's a big third-person community on MX Simulator. Like I said, there's probably half or better of the pro racing dudes that pro race in this game in third person. It's like, dudes, you need to man up and you need to start playing this game the way it's meant to be played. Stop making excuses. Stop acting like there's little twisty ways, little workaround ways of why the third person should be allowed in pro racing. There is no excuse. There is no explanation for that. There's nothing you can say that is going to make any sense of why third person should be allowed in a simulator pro racing motocross game. There's nothing you can say that is going to make any sense as to why third person should be allowed in that. You literally have no defense at all. None. Absolutely none. I mean, seriously, like, this is one of those occasions I feel like there is no middle ground. There is no gray area. There is no, maybe it should be allowed for this reason, or maybe, like, I could see that. No, dog. No. You're not even playing the game the way it is meant to be played. I mean, like, that's what I'm getting at. And I have to go back. I'm not going against third person just to have fun, because if you're just having fun, then you're not being, like, super serious about it. You know what I mean? You're just having fun. You're throwing whips. by all means, you know what I mean? I don't give a hell what you do at that point, but when it comes to the serious pro racing side of it, that's where it becomes an issue to me. So I just wanted to get on here and explain that. There needs to be big changes. I cannot believe RF would not have a forced first-person mode in a motocross simulator. Like, fuck. I feel like some of you guys aren't even hearing the damn words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, it is a simulator. That is the whole point. Like, you know how much more realistic that would make the racing. I mean, these are big changes that need to be made. JLV, RF, all you dudes up there at the top notch, you know, you need to be thinking about this. I mean, it's a big deal. Obviously, JLV is not really the dude that's controlling what's going on in RF. I mean, he's got a little bit of sway there, but not, you know what I'm saying? He's not the guy that's really making all the decisions. So, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it really comes down to RF. Like, I think it's just one of those things. It's more of just kind of lazy. You know, we're not going to try to go in there and make a whatever kind of system that's going to lock it in first person for everybody. We're just not going to do that. I think it's just kind of a lack of wanting to dedicate any time to it. You know what I mean? That's more of what it is. I think if collectively everyone sat down and was like, okay, what should we do here in the pro racing? I mean, I just could not see how the vote wouldn't be at least 75% of people wanting it to be first person locked in the pro racing, and another 25% of the idiots that don't understand why the hell they're even playing a simulator are going to say, no, it should just allow third person too. You know what I mean? I would think a lot of people would want it to be first person locked. So, you know, I don't think it's like a thing if they don't want it to be that way. I just think it's they haven't done it yet. Like they've kind of been a little bit lazy on it and just haven't wanted to go in there and put a system like that in. But, yeah, boys, I cannot believe, I mean, just think about all those games that are like, I mean, think about like a pro PUBG tournament, you know what I mean? Imagine if they allowed first person and third person in like the tippity top of the slope PUBG tournament. I mean, holy shit, what do you think everyone's going to play in? They're going to play in third person because you can see over walls. You can see all these things that you just cannot see in first person, but it completely takes away the realism of the whole point of the game. You know, PUBG is trying to be more of a realistic battle royale, realistic gun recoil, kind of more of a simulator-esque shooter, and it's a whole different game in first person. That's really, you know, so and I wouldn't have a problem if they wanted to have some sort of like third person pro racing series where it was third person only, but that shouldn't be the main series of the game. The main series of the game should be first person locked. And it really comes down to this. I think if you play this game like hardcore in third person, or you mainly play it in third person, I think you're missing a massive aspect of the game. Like, you're missing a whole feeling of the game that you cannot get in third person. There's no way. It's impossible. You know, you're missing that true feeling like you're on a real dirt bike. You're totally missing that, dog. And it's sad, really, for some of you people that play this game like that. You're not even experiencing the game like it's meant to be experienced. You're not even really getting that true, like a real-life dirt bike in a virtual world that I always talk about with MX Simulator. You're not even getting that feeling because you're playing in third person. It's just sad, really, that some people can't understand that. So, some of you guys that aren't to that point where you're playing in first person yet, just go in there. It's going to take time. You got to slowly work your way through it, man. But I promise you, if you go in there and do that, you will thank me later, dog. Like, it's just a whole nother level, a whole nother way of playing the game, and it's so much fun, man. When you start learning how to whip in first person and do all that kind of stuff, and going in the ruts and all that feels way more realistic. The corners feel more realistic. You just get so much more of a feeling over the jump faces, like you're really hitting big jumps and getting up in the air. I mean, it's just a whole nother level of playing the game, and I think a lot of people really need to understand that instead of just looking at it like, oh, here's another motocross game. I'm just going to play it in third person, you know what I mean? Because I play all these other ones in third person. I feel like that's the way a lot of people look at this game, and it's sad that it's like that. And if they would force first person in the pro racing, it wouldn't be looked at as much like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's just play that in third person. It would be looked more like, well, you can play it in third person, but you're not really going to be able to pro race in third person. So it would be more of a for fun, just go mess around, look at your whips kind of mode like it should be. You understand what I'm saying? So either way, that's my take on third person. I'm sure some of you guys are still going to try to find a defense for it, even though there is none. You can sit there and try to defend it till you're blue in the face. It's not going to change my mind on it. I mean, it's really not, because it's not going to make any sense. Any way you try to defend the third person in pro racing with other people that are in first person, you're not going to be able to make any sort of constructive, real argument against that. There's no way. It's impossible. This is not even really a negotiable kind of debate. It's not even like that. It's black and white to me. I mean, it is like, there's no question on how it should be, in my opinion. This is just one of those things I really feel like it's not even an argument, but yet some people still try to make an argument out of it. That's what's funny about the world, man. Even in the occasions on things where there's no way you could defend it, people still try to defend it. Watch them down there in the comments. They'll still try to do it. It just cracks me up, dog. But either way, boys, wanted to go in there, and I'm going to keep on saying this shit till the end of time until it gets forced in the pro racing. All it's going to do is make the pro racing more realistic, more of a, they say on the RF website, this is the most realistic pro racing experience you can have in a motocross game or whatever, whatever the hell they have on the website. Well, if you want that true, real, full pro professional experience in a motocross game, force first person. That's what you should do. That'll just make it even more realistic, and the collision and the running into people even more real like it is in real life. And then at some point, I think there should be a system where you can actually look your head over in this game, so that that'll help a lot when you're trying to get back on the track and actually being able to look over like they do in real life without just having to kind of guess where people are or look at your mini map. Jesus Christ. And then if you can look over, that's going to help. Like if you think somebody's coming up on the inside, you can kind of look over real quick before they run into you. I think that's the way it should be, personally. I think there should be a system where you can kind of look your head around a little bit, but no, it should not be like third person view where you can see everything around you in the pro racing. That is too much. It's making the game way more unrealistic and way less like a simulator than it should be. You know what I'm saying? So either way, dudes, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later.